Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the DJ Force X podcast. And I have an incredibly special guest on this show today. I have Kone from the absolute legendary band Lordi. Welcome, Kone.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, yeah, like I said before, thank you for doing this. I'm a fan of the band. I obviously sort of was kind of aware of Lordi before the Eurovision kind of blow up, if you will. Um, just from being this side of the world and following bands like Gua and things like that. And finding out you guys, and then obviously 2006, you guys kind of, I guess, blew up on a major scale. Um, after winning Eurovision, which is absolutely crazy. Now I know you weren't part of Lordi at that point, um, and I know you're a relatively recent addition to the Legion, if you will. Um,
Yes.
yes, but what I would like to do, because obviously we'll talk about the album that's coming out. It's called Limited Deadition.
Yes,
And
correct.
so I have to get my tongue around it. A lot of the song titles as well, which is out on the 21st of March via Raining Phoenix Music. So we've got the corporate stuff out the way. Uh, um, but what I would like to do is I'd like to get some background on Kone. Like how did you get into the world of Lordi? And like how they found you and like who are your sort of like influences and stuff? What made you pick up that guitar?
All right, that's
It's a big
um
question, I know.
yeah, but to put it simply, me being some sort of maybe you could say a freelancer musician, there was a link and a person who had worked with me knew a person who plays an instrument in Lordi was that person was the link, and I was recommended, and I got a call from Mr. Lordi himself asking if I would be interested,
Oh wow.
and obviously I was instantly
Yeah.
very much into it. Obviously, knowing the band since way before Eurovision, and um that was it seemed huge at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely was. I mean, just to, I don't want to, you know, concentrate just on the Eurovision stuff because that was a while ago, but it did pave the way for a lot of, I'd say, rock and metal acts across Europe and the world now. Um,
Absolutely, yes, yes.
to take this competition, but that was normally reserved for pop music. Occasionally you get the sort of, you know, I guess, I mean, to like, you know, a different, someone from a different country, some of the music was very strange.
Yes.
Um, without, you know, not, I don't want to insult anyone, you see, because I watch Eurovision. So I've watched it for years. And because my household was very much, it was a pop music household back then. So
Yeah,
Eurovision
yeah.
was on, and, you know, are like the UK acts like Bucks Fizz and Katrina and the Waves and all that kind of lot. And obviously, you know, you've got ABBA who are legends of
Yeah.
that that competition and you know world music, and then you guys came along and totally blew that out the water. uh,
Yeah, I remember um I think I was fairly young back then when it happened, and I was just getting into heavy metal music myself, and that was huge. That was a big deal
yeah, no,
to
totally. I
an
mean, but
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
to an
people,
aspiring heavy metal enthusiast.
yeah, it's crazy because it's like it was a gateway moment for a lot of people, I think.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
away from the
absolutely.
sort of like, I guess, mainstream kind of like rock and metal that kind of blew up earlier on,
Yeah.
that blows up, you know, through chart music and, you know, general popularity. um but it was like it was one of those moments where people were like, "What's this?" And then they go and discover that. I mean, Finland itself has got some absolutely amazing music, amazing bands. Like
Yes,
too many to
yes.
mention. I've had plenty of them on this show. I had one recently, in fact, that I don't know if it's going to be out before or after this one, but there's a new band that have just came up in Finland called Luna Kills. And,
Okay. All
and
right.
they're just about to release their debut album, in fact, so they're like that new. But you know, and that's just like one example of like a band I've had on recently. But it's it's such a great place for music, and obviously you guys coming out with this, and the obviously we could talk about the look, you know, the theatrics, the personas, that it's just it's amazing. Is yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, how does that kind of like you know, obviously joining the band and stuff like that, and you have this look. Um, how did that kind of like come about?
Um, I was I was obviously terrified joining in the band, knowing knowing nothing about what it's like playing in a costume. I had no idea how the what are the costumes made of or anything like that.
Yeah,
Um, um, and the first times trying the first costume on was quite an experience. It was scary and difficult, and for some brief moments it felt like this is not gonna work. I nobody can do this. But then the people around me did it as well as they've done for years, and then I kind of looked in the mirror or something, and kind of realized the fact of being a total different character, and ended up absolutely loving being in
yeah,
character, no matter how much it gets wet and sweaty and hot inside,
yeah,
but it's fantastic. And
yeah,
as a kid, obviously the album covers were fantastic.
yeah.
Like that was the scariest thing you've ever seen.
It's like I mean I went through the obviously the the outfits that you guys have now, and it is amazing. And I've like I'm watching it, and I sort of I've always wondered because I've tried to play like in masks. I've tried to like because I used to be in a band, and so I have that kind of like on stage. I know how hot it can get on stage, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to do it while I'm DJing as well because I DJ as well. But you know, and it's incredibly difficult. It's like almost like there's like it's kind of like a weird torture. If you obviously you can, you know, if you've got people around you that kind of like can coach you through that, obviously you have in respect of the rest of Lordi
Yeah.
have been doing it for like between you guys been doing it for years. Um, but I've it's something I've never really been able to I don't know, unless I didn't have the people around me, I guess, kind of share the experience with. But yeah, I was gonna say it must be really difficult because it like you've got it's not just masks you're wearing, it's an entire suit.
Yeah, it's from head to toe.
Yeah. And like I mean, have you measured how hot it gets in there just out of pure curiosity?
Um, I have not, but uh, basically I don't think it actually gets any harder than your, like, let's say you would play in a full leather gear.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the same-ish thing with the added head not releasing any heat outside. I think it's the head part is what makes it so sweaty.
Yeah. No, I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Say like I mean looking at your costume, your outfit, sorry, and you know, seeing the tubes, I say you can get some air conditioning going in that. Um
I wish I did, but it would probably the sweat would fry all the electronics that would
yeah.
require.
That is very true. That is very true. But no, I was going through your the band bio and everything as like research for this, and it looks like I share a birthday with your bassist, which is kind of cool.
All right,
So,
incredible.
which is nice. You got the date of birth on there, which is awesome. And I know it's Mr. Lordy's birthday coming up soon.
Oh hell, I need to get him something.
Yes. What do you
Thank
get
you.
someone like
Thank you
that?
for reminding.
Oh, no worries. But don't forget you're a bassist as well. You know that
Yes.
I play bass too, so it's like, you know, it's a kindred spirit right there with the same birthday as me. So
Yes.
but let's talk about this new album. It's called Limited Edition. And like I say, it's out on the 21st of March across all kind of like formats and platforms and all that kind of stuff. You've already hit people with two songs from the album. One of them, which I really love, in fact, Syntax Terror. Love that track. It's
All
just
right.
pure energy. I love it. And you also released Retropolis.
Retropolis, Retropolis. I have no idea how to
I
pronounce it.
Yeah, I struggle with these names. Like that seems to be a thing with the album. There's a lot of like I'd say wordplay. Um
Yes,
but
yes,
it's
that's it.
it's in fact it's great. I mean, you've got like let's have a look. A collectible, that's a collectable. Phil- Philharmonic Orchestra. I love that. Um um
Yeah, the wordplays are a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, Skeleton in the Room. I love that too. I mean, I can go through. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but obviously, I think you probably see it on the. If they pre-save it, they could probably see the tracks on the streaming services if anyone wants to go and look at it. But it's I mean, it's a heck of an album. I've had it on like well, I'd say constantly on rotation, and I love it. It's like there's some tracks just totally full of energy, and it's just like really good kind of rock and roll. If that makes sense. Like hard.
Yeah, yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit more about the album itself, like the sort of like, obviously the premise behind it, anything like that?
Um, well, first of all, obviously, I love the album. It turned out, um, it turned out to be super good, and there was a bunch of songs that I did not like at first,
Mm,
and the end results actually were like I was instantly hooked. Like hearing the final versions with all the backing vocals and everything was fantastic. Just realizing that okay, there's actually all the few songs that I wasn't sure about.
mm.
I was hooked, and they kick ass. And then there are some few songs that are very much what I think is the bestest Lordi music
Yeah,
ever done.
I mean it's catchy.
Especially there's one song that I'm very fond of.
Yeah, which one would that be?
Um, I will keep that as a secret
Okay, all right, no
for
worries.
now.
For now, for now. But obviously it's a follow up to Screenwriters Guild as well.
Yes,
From 2023, which before that, obviously Lordi released their collection, the Lordiversity,
yes,
which was like seven albums, um, which was or seven discs at least, um,
yes,
which was crazy. Like that's a lot of music to consume. But no, Screenwriters Guild was really great. I thought that was a great album as well, and um, yeah, and obviously this one, limited edition. I'm very excited to see what it does when it comes out to not just fans of Lordi, but I like I played a couple of tracks to some people and they were really enjoying it. Like, and it's very kind of that's the only way I could really describe it. It's just got this energy about it. This really it's kind of like I guess feel good energy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that.
It's kind of like
I can't.
I don't know
Yeah, I
how to
got the same
describe.
sort of feelings.
Good. No, that's kind of, that's it's I mean it's made me like really kind of like, I don't know. I don't know, it just energizes me. I put it on and I was like after work today and I was feeling like kind of tired because I've been at work for like 8 hours. Um, but I was like driving home and it was really giving me like, yes, I can drive to this. This is great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't break
In
I didn't
in
break
a
any
world of
things, but
yeah, in a world of horror and devils and demons and hellfire and all sorts of things, the album is surprisingly uplifting.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get out just then. It's like the context of the album, or like the sort of lyrical content, stuff like that. And you're like, but this is so. It's just making me feel really good. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, or anything like that. I hope not. But I've been really enjoying it. Obviously, pass that on to the rest of the band because it's like it's an absolute fantastic. I mean, I love obviously the guitar work for yourself, but the synth work as well. I'm
Yeah.
loving that. Like I'm a big fan of synth and especially in rock and metal, and it works so well with you guys. Um, and one other thing I'm looking forward to, just to be professional and bring it onto the thing. You guys are touring, um, and you're going to be playing in
Yes,
England, which is awesome. But
it
yeah,
is.
you guys are out on tour in March, starting with a couple of dates in Finland, Poland, Netherlands, and then you're coming to the UK in April. Where you're hitting Wolverhampton, Newcastle, Manchester, Glasgow, London, and Bristol. Um,
Yes.
Across those days, everyone can go to lordi.fi and they can find those dates and most likely the link to tickets and such on that front. But like for any of my European listeners, they are also hitting France, Belgium, um, is it? Yeah, Germany. So I'm going through the dates here. Um, Spain and back to Germany again, by the looks of it. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's right. Yeah. So you guys are hitting quite a few of the European haunts on that front on this limited edition tour, if you will,
Yeah.
or limited of limited tour. What was it? Second edition of limited tour 25. Um, see, God, I don't know how you get your tongue around these things. Um,
Yeah, I'm lost with the names.
well, I'm hoping to come see you guys when you hit a couple of those England ones. So I'm looking at London most likely is
All right.
it's the one nearest to me anyway, I think, in that respect. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just obviously what can people kind of expect from this current Lordi tour?
Um, Loud noises,
Good,
um, um, handsome and beautiful people on stage,
lovely.
um, flashing lights, smoke, um, probably some sort of horror, and anyway, good times at least.
Yeah,
I
good
mean,
times.
definitely good times. I've done 3 tours now with Lordi, and it is incredible. The general vibe and like the interaction at our club shows is fantastic, and
Nice.
it always looks like the crowd is having a blast and enjoying. I've not had the experience myself, but it sure does look like people are having uh, at least the best night of the week
Well, that's good. That's
easily.
good. Yeah, you need people to have a good night, especially, they're coming to see you guys. Do you get a lot of people kind of like cosplay or dress up when they come see you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, must be amazing. Just like because obviously you guys you have this like, devilish cartoony look, if you will. Um
Yes.
a comic book more like than cartoon, I would say. But yeah,
Yes.
just kind of like, looking at your guys like just the way you look. I mean, the music that you guys make, you wouldn't expect it from the way you look as well, which is what I find absolutely brilliant. It's a bit like watching Ghost. Like Ghost, you kind of think, oh, maybe they're sort of like, you know, darker, they are darker, they are, but like heavier, gritty, big,
Yeah.
sort of bit more screaming. And no, it's kind of like, oh, it's something else. But with you guys, it looks like demonic and like you're gonna be like, thrash and loud and just sort of like, but it's just sort of like really powerful, kind of like heavy rock and metal. Um,
Yeah.
and it's totally like yeah, it just totally I love the way it works. It's fantastic. But yeah, no, you guys are out on that tour. And do you know who your supports are yet, or have you not announced that?
I do not know that.
Okay. Well, I don't know it either. So
I I sure hope somebody does.
yeah, I was going to say you need someone there, I think, just to sort of calm the people down a little bit, maybe.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, you got this record coming out, and you got this tour coming up, which is amazing. Um, I've got basically a couple of questions left for you, if that's all right, and I can let you get on with
Yes.
your evening. But what I want to find out, this is more like it's directly about you. It kind of alludes to what I asked you at the start with like influences and stuff like that. But what I want to find out from you is your Three most pivotal records. So not necessarily your favorite records of all time,
Okay.
but the ones
All
that
right.
made you want to pick up a guitar. Like when you were younger, like your mum or dad or someone played you a track, or you heard it on the radio or saw it on TV, and it kind of like, I want to do that. Like those sort of moments.
Yeah. I was fairly young when I wanted to pick up a guitar, so I don't think I was young enough to not fully understand what's an album.
Okay.
I heard some Finnish rock bands on the radio. There's a Finnish rock band called Popeda, which was hugely influential to me. And but later on when I actually did pick up the guitar, there was a lot of me trying to figure out how does a guitar work on my own, and I kind of didn't figure it out until I saw the fantastic movie called School of Rock,
Oh, nice.
where Jack Black teaches the kid how to play Smoke on the Water,
Yeah.
and I kind of that was kind of like my first guitar lesson. Like
Wow.
that's where it clicked to me. Like, okay, this is how guitar works. So that was kind of like the moment where that actually got me to pick up the guitar daily and eventually ask my parents to put me to some actual guitar lessons.
Oh, wow.
But um later on the albums for me have definitely been um um Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden
Yeah.
and Hysteria by Def Leppard.
Nice.
Um, I'm not quite sure what would be the third album. Maybe like in my own personal life, I would say right off the top of my head, Simplicity by Joe Pass
Oh,
was a very um that kind of that was simple enough for me to sort of maybe start to understand jazz music, which was
yeah.
just as a hobby. It's that was something different.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, mentioning School of Rock. That's the first time I've in all the interviews I've done, I asked this question for everyone. So, but that's the first time I've seen that come up and actually be a moment for someone because I can see.
Okay.
I love that movie. I love Jack
Yeah.
Black. I love that movie's fantastic. It like my kids love it as well. Um, but and I can see that moment like when he's showing them like how to play. You say like Smoke on the Water and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like yeah, that makes total sense. I can see how that
Yeah.
would inspire someone to just pick up a guitar and just try it because it's, it's one of those iconic songs, but it's relatively straightforward to play once you get the chords.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the scene itself kind of wonderfully simplifies how a
Yeah,
rock band works. Like what does each of the members actually do?
yeah, because he goes through all of them and he just like just play the bass this one and then the keys play and a fit, he does all that. I remember that whole thing, and yeah,
Yeah.
no, that is it just simplifies everything
Exactly.
and it makes it so exciting. I yeah, I've never thought of it in that way as well. That's amazing. I love that. I absolutely love that. And oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Normally I'm hearing sort of there's typical same album, same thing for depending on the age of the person that I chat to.
Yeah.
But that is yes, that is amazing. I love that. But the albums you mentioned as well, obviously Iron Maiden, legendary, like see from the land of Iron Maiden right here. Um, and Def Leppard for that matter.
Yeah.
Both
Exactly.
legendary bands, like for totally like sort of different styles of like rock and metal. But yeah, Seventh Son is amazing. That's an amazing album.
Yes.
Hysteria as well, absolute classic. I will have to check out Joe Pass though. Simplicity. I do like jazz. Um,
All right.
I'm normally like, I like when I'm cooking and stuff like that, I have like a jazz playlist playing. Because it occupies a part of my brain that stops distractions. So
Yes. Yes.
it keeps that dancing while I'm trying to
Yes.
concentrate on cooking food.
It
Um,
is also wonderful music to fall asleep to.
oh yeah, that too. Yes. Yeah, and I've got a pair of dogs, and when I go out, I always like go tell my smart speaker to play jazz radio, and that just keeps them totally chilled while I'm out. Because
Incredible.
I left a rock like playlist on at one point, and I came back to part of the living room just being torn up, and I'm blaming the music because it's really cool.
Yes,
But every time I've left jazz, they just chill and sleep. So I'm just like, perfect, absolutely perfect. No, I
that
love
is wonderful.
love that. Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to check out that jazz as well. So, um, but my final question for you.
All
Um,
right.
so one more, that's it, and I can let you go. What are your hobbies away from music? So when you're not creating for Lordi or anything like that, what are your sort of like, yeah, what are your hobbies?
Um, this is this is going to make me sound an incredibly boring person, but uh, pretty much all of my hobbies are guitar or music related,
Okay.
and I get easily excited about things. For example, I I do own a trumpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one trumpet lesson, and then that was the same day I got the call from Mr. Lordi to join the band. So the trumpet has not been touched ever since.
Yeah, I
And
had a similar thing um
yeah,
as well. Like I had a bass, I was a bassist, like I said. I learned how to play bass and everything. And then I got a call from a band for me to join them as a DJ, as a scratch DJ. And I haven't really played bass in anything since.
yes,
A couple of bass guitars, and they're just kind of sitting there. I occasionally pick them up, but yeah, I went through lessons, I went through everything, and I ended
yeah,
up just being in a band for like 10 years,
yeah.
like with turntables and samplers and synths and stuff. So,
All right,
but absolutely
but
mad.
yeah, yeah. I get easily influenced by different things in music. A
Yeah,
few months ago, I bought a piano, uh, just just to kind of maybe
yeah.
learn to play a bit. And last night I went to see Tommy Emmanuel, and I am thinking of maybe going to buy another acoustic guitar just because of that. And
You are very easily influenced, sir.
yes, yes,
Um, that's awesome. I'm very much the same way. Um, I don't know how to describe. Yes, but yes, no. Kone, thank you very much. I
thank you.
really appreciate your time this evening. Good luck with the album. Good luck with the tour, everybody. It is out on the 21st of March. It is called Limited Deadition, and they are touring that as well. They will be hitting the UK in April, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Lordi back on this shore.
Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. Come say hi if you get to a show.
Yes, I definitely will. I definitely will. Thank you very much, mate.
All right, thank you so much. This was a
Oh,
pleasure.
yes. All pleasure's all here, mate. Thank you.